It ain't too late at
Now.
Good morning and welcome to Indy Boomer Magazine. I'm Mary Pat McKee. I publish a magazine called Indy Boomer, and I'm sitting here this morning with Wesley Young from Senior Solutions Consulting, and we are going to be talking about some VA aid and attendance and also Medicare. I always say it wrong. I always get them confused. I've been told by a bazillion people, and I should know. Anyway, Indy Boomer Magazine, this is the Bob and Tom January issue, and the new March issue will be out on Friday at most Kroger and Marsh stores in the Marion and surrounding counties, so be sure and pick a copy up if you can. Wesley has been writing for us for, 4 years or so, and he is in the magazine, and you can find him in the back of the magazine. And in this particular year is, how do I help mom and dad? And that is usually the big question when it comes to financial matters.
Yes.
Because it turns out that baby boomers seem to be the ones that are helping their folks navigate through the craziness of figuring out how to handle their money, what to do with their money, and what is the thing that we've learned on Indy Boomer Magazine show, and that is to ask a professional, and why you ask a professional. Wes, let's start with VA aid and attendance. Tell us about process. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the aid and attendance program is something that the VA came up with many years ago to help veterans pay for age-related health issues.
Right.
So, unlike disability, where if you were injured in the war or injured due to service, this is an age-related program that if you get sick and you were a veteran,
Right.
it provides money. It provides up to $1149 for a surviving spouse, $1788 for a veteran, and up to $2,120 for a couple for
Wow, it's up to
monthly pay.
$2,000 now for a couple. Okay, that's good.
It's a tax-free monthly benefit, pay for in-home care, assisted living, and nursing homes. So, how do you get it? Well, you have to ask the government for it.
Well, and that's where you ask a professional as well, because our government's not just going to give it to you.
Right, and it's difficult. I kind of liken it to doing your taxes for the first time ever. All the papers and the forms
That's a
and
good
all
analogy.
those kind of things. If you've never done it before, you know it's
It's
difficult.
a daunting task.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 30 years, paying taxes for 30 years, and I still hire someone to do it because of all the changes and the updates and the forms and the time involved. So,
Right.
so we are a company that helps folks get eligible.
Right.
That's what we do, and so the entire process is a lot of applications, letters, or a form goes to your doctor, a form goes to a facility or the caregivers, so there's a lot of pieces. We take all the forms downtown, we get them file stamped and date stamped, because even when we do that, sometimes they'll come back and forget when it got stamped, because they do pay back to date of application,
Right,
even though
I
it takes a
remember
while
that,
to get
yeah.
approved, so sometimes we have to remind them that we turned it in back in, December of last year. So the process is it can be very daunting. The application itself is probably about a half-inch thick. When you,
Really? It's that big?
Yeah, when you get through all of the original discharge papers and the marriage certificates and the possible death certificates if you need that, and they don't take power of attorney, so we need a special form to authorize.
They don't take power of attorney?
They
Really?
don't.
Wow.
So
That's unusual.
yeah, so if you want somebody to be able to speak to the VA on your behalf, like our company or one of the children, then you have to have a special form to allow the VA
That to
to
happen.
disclose information. So there's something, people get frustrated. They say, well, call the VA, they won't talk to me. Well, you just need a piece of paper.
Yeah,
It's just one of those pieces of paper. And,
it sounds like a government entity.
It does, and when you open their website, it's kind of like opening a fire hydrant when you want a drink. It's
I love your analogies this morning. They're great.
it's all there, but
Yeah.
there's probably, every application for every benefit that the VA ever does, which I would guess are hundreds of them, are right there. So you just pick out the ones you need. Well, which ones are those?
Right.
Again, like doing your taxes, if you have rental property, if you have stocks and bonds, you need different forms for different things. So putting it all together.
Well, it's also not easy to navigate either.
No, and we were just down there yesterday, and they were literally telling us that the form we filled out needed to be filled out differently, and I know for a fact that it was correct. So we had to withdraw our stuff and wait to go back another day to get someone who would actually accept the paperwork that we filled out, because we knew it was correct. So
that is craziness.
So it's a challenge.
Right.
Like I said, it does take 3 to 5 months to get approved. They do pay back the date of application, or they may need some additional information. And,
Right.
And when you do send additional information, you have to do it on a certain piece of paper, and if you don't, they won't accept it. So things like that. So
I know when we did it for my father, he was Korean War, it took a year.
That's not uncommon.
But they got a check, finally, for $24,000. Well, it wasn't quite that because it wasn't as high as 2005 years ago. But yeah, it took a long time and very difficult. And again, we had a professional. I didn't know you then. We would have used you because you are a whole lot, and I don't know how to say this in a nice way, less expensive than an attorney.
Yes, I'm not an attorney.
And no offense, I love attorneys, but they charge quite a bit more.
And we have an on-staff attorney that we use when we need one.
Right.
If we need legal docs, we get them done.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, with the VA, and as I'm not telling you anything, but people may not know, you can only have so much money.
That's true.
Or show you have so much money.
There is no look back for transfers of assets under the VA. They've tried.
There still is not?
There still is not. They've
Okay.
tried 4 or 5 times. They've lost every time because they try to pigtail on the back of other VA changes, and usually it'll pass the House, but the Senate's full of veterans, and they're like, we're not changing VA benefits, no way, no how.
Good.
So if you put your assets in the right spot, you can apply the next day, and as long as you disclose everything.
Right.
Now with Medicaid, which we'll talk about in the second segment here, there's a 5-year, 60-month look back. So when we do VA benefits to pay for in-home care and assisted living, which makes sense because it's $1,000 or $1,500.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
It's not really going to help you with a $7,000 nursing home bill, but it really helps for in-home care and assisted living. If you start moving around things to get that, you may not be too far from needing nursing home care a year, 2, 3 down the road,
right.
And you don't want to hamstring yourself with a Medicaid penalty. So you have to we do both at the same time, so we're ready for that and not, doing one and then hurt you for the one that's more expensive later. So you got to be very careful about moving things around, and we make sure that we don't just give everything to the kids and wink, wink, here it is, give it back if I need it. Well, that causes all kind of issues.
Yeah. Well, there's trust, isn't there? That
sometimes
can
we'll
be
use,
set up.
I'm not an attorney, so I'll say a bucket. We'll use a bucket to hold the stuff, and that way the kids don't own it and the parents don't own it, and it's its own little entity, and that way nothing bad can happen to it. If you give it, if you were the daughter and we gave it all to you, death, divorce, lawsuit, all kind of bad things could happen to you, and if it's in your name, there it goes. Plus, when the parent passes away, their will doesn't control what you own, so if there were siblings that are supposed to get a piece of that, and you're holding it, you don't have to share.
But
that's a problem.
Well, but in that fashion, though, say mom needs a new coat, or I don't know, just has certain needs.
Teeth and eyeglasses.
Teeth. I should have gone with that. But yeah, say that. So then they can take that money back out of the trust to pay for
Absolutely.
those things.
The trustee has 100% discretion over every dollar in that trust to use for the parent or parents during their lifetime, and then at death it passes exactly the same way the will does. So there's no discrepancy. Nobody was in yesterday and out tomorrow.
Right.
So that it's not always the kids, but the people they're married to that get real upset real fast when you were in yesterday and out today.
Yeah.
So, but yes, every dollar in there is available for use for the parent, and encouraged to be used that way because when you're on Medicaid, let's say, you get to keep $52 a month out of your income for $1.50 a day for anything you want.
Wow.
And everything you want.
And how much can you buy for $1.50 a day?
A bag of chips and a Coke.
There you go.
That's about it. So yeah, the trust is a great place to hold money to further care for parents.
Okay. Well, I think the bottom line is what we want to know about VA aid and attendance is that you need a professional seek one out if your parents served in the war or yourself. If you're on the older end of the baby boomer generation, you may be needing to use those dollars as well. Hey, we're going to be right back in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to talk more about Medicaid. Thanks.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
It ain't.
Good morning. We're back again. Mary Pat McKee with Indy Boomer Magazine. I'm sitting here this morning with Wesley Young, who is with Senior Solutions Consulting.
Yes.
And in the first half of our show today, we talked about veterans aid and attendance.
Yep.
And on this section, we're going to talk about Medicaid. What Wesley's company does, and I should really let you, but what he does is work with people who are usually boomers dealing with their parents.
Yeah.
And looking for ways to fund and cover the cost of either home health, retirement communities, so on and so forth.
Yeah, nursing home, independent living, assisted living.
I'll let you take
Right.
it from there. So
Yeah,
talk
and
about
also
Medicaid.
protect assets. So you kind of have two groups of folks. One that is looking for the care and how to pay for it, and the other group is maybe a spouse or someone who says, if I put my husband into a facility there's a new one we went to look at here in town the other day. It's $275 a day.
$275 a day.
Plus the fact that the spouse has to live at home, and that's a couple bucks a day. So all of a sudden we're looking at $10,000 a month, real quick.
Wow.
And most Hoosiers have a modest amount of savings, and you divide that by $10,000 a month, and that's how many months you have to live before you've changed your lifestyle. So,
Right.
There is that. I want to find care, but then there's that panic of, gosh, I can't even
afford it.
consider care, because if I do that, we'll all be broke.
Right.
So what we do is find benefits to help pay for those types of care, to A, get the care for the person that needs it, and then B, protect the spouse and the asset, because I've heard a stat many years ago that most people spend 80% of their healthcare dollar in the last 2 years of their life, and you
Really?
can see why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Okay. I've heard too with some of the retirement facilities, they want you coming in as private pay, but then you can spend them down, correct?
Yeah,
To get to-
they like the private pay dollars, and then once you become one of their people,
Right.
then if you do run out of money, they'll offer you a Medicaid waiver slot, let's say, in
Right.
an assisted living, or you can go on to Medicaid.
Okay.
So, they want to keep you around. It does take a facility about a year to get Medicaid certified.
Okay.
So
The new ones, right. I mean,
Yeah.
most of them are already certified.
Right.
Wouldn't you say?
Right, and the reason I say it is because I tell my clients, because a lot of them think, well, I don't want to do that to the facility, do Medicaid. It's like, well, it took a year or so for them to get Medicaid. They have to jump through hoops and meet certifications and certain quality standards
Right.
to get Medicaid. Well, if they're going to spend the money and do all that, they obviously want those heads in those beds,
Right.
and they like to get paid on the first of every month. Whereas, if it's $7,000-8,000 a month, and I'm relying on you to pay me, and you get a couple of months behind, and mom passes away, that's a tough $20,000 to get back. Versus,
Yeah.
Medicaid's
Yeah,
paying
that's
every
true.
month on the first of the month. They're getting money to pay their bills, so
Right.
they seek out Medicaid. So if you're going to go on to Medicaid, they want you. They want your business.
Right.
So I try to change that kind of paradigm of people thinking about Medicaid.
Well, tell us, what is the process, I'm sure, I don't really, give us some highlights of the process of Medicaid.
Medicaid, obviously, it's a federal program that is 50-50 federal state.
Oh, I didn't know
State
that.
calls the shots, but it's a 50-50 federal state. And each state gets to kind of set their rules. They can't limit more, but they can be more generous.
Okay.
The states can. So each state's a little different. So I've done Medicaid in probably four or five states now.
Is Indiana generous?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty down the middle as far as what you can keep.
Okay.
So the process basically is you have to be in a Medicaid facility to get Medicaid.
Right.
There is let me back up. There's lots of flavors of Medicaid. There's food stamps, there's women, infants, and children, there's
Right.
TANF, there's cash assistance, there's Medicaid waiver, which can pay for in-home Medicaid, which can be a little bit of help with meds or health expense,
Right.
or a little bit of limited home care, or assisted living now.
Okay.
And then there's Medicaid. When I say Medicaid, I think nursing home. So
Okay.
so that's the area I'm going. If there's, it could be food stamps.
Right.
But nursing home Medicaid. So there's a lot of qualifications to make that. To
But
get
some
to
of
get
them are
eligible for
financial,
Medicaid.
right?
Yeah, quite a few are financial, and they're different between a single person and a married couple.
Okay.
A single person has to spend down to $2,000
Mm-hmm. For what? 2000.
in savings,
Oh, in savings. Okay.
total savings.
I guess I could apply right now. Okay.
You can have a car.
Okay.
You can have up to $10,000 of life insurance
Okay.
or prepaid funerals, and
Alright.
that's about it.
Really?
And then when your income comes in every month, you get to keep $52. You get to pay your health care insurance, so you keep your Medicare.
Okay.
So when you go to the hospital and the doctor, Medicaid says keep your Medicare because we don't want to pay for that. So keep your health insurance, and then the rest goes to the nursing home as your ability
And they
to
give
pay.
you $52 a month?
You get to keep that out of your income, and the rest goes to the nursing home as your ability to pay. That's called patient liability. So
Okay.
yeah, so if you have $2,000.25,
Mm-hmm.
they will send you we regret to inform you, you don't qualify this month, and now the nursing home's looking for $7,000 from you for that month because you didn't qualify. Well,
Oh,
if you have $2,000.25, you can't afford the $7,000 from the month you just missed out on. Or your life insurance has cash value.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows cash value of their life insurance? Nobody, right? Or you had double E bonds, or you have a second vehicle, or
So once again, you better be careful.
all these things will trip you up, and what it'll cause you to do is keep trying to call and find out, why am I not eligible? Why am I not, because everything's coded on the sheet as to why you're not eligible. Well,
Right.
I don't know what that means. So,
Right.
so it's difficult to meet all the qualifications the first time around, because when you run out of money, you run out of money.
Right. Right.
And if you miss 3 months, it's $20,000. Where are you going to come up, the nursing home needs to get paid. I mean, they're not bad guys. They just
Right.
need to get paid. And Medicaid's saying, you're not eligible. So you really need to hit all of the spots.
All the markers on it. Huh?
Yeah. So, that's why we suggest you come and see us and try not to go on your
I
own.
highly suggest, and you have helped a bunch of people that I know of. I mean,
Yeah,
that
we've
I've sent to you.
Probably done about 800 Medicaid cases in my 15 years.
Have you really? Wow,
Yeah, and I
that's
go
a
down to the
bunch.
Medicaid office and do them in person, and even I get tripped up with the people I'm working with at the Medicaid office, because I have to look over their shoulder and tell them they put something on the wrong line, or this needs to go here.
You probably know more about it than they do.
Well, I'd like to get that way 100%,
I wouldn't be surprised.
because, for the first half of the year, they were putting in 2015 on all their forms, and said, hey, it's 2016. Because once there's a problem in the system, it's hard to get it back out.
Right.
So I do go and do it face-to-face and try to get it in and kind of really sit there at the
And
office
make sure
until
it's
it
put in
passes.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it is difficult. So we never charge for consultations. We do
Okay.
charge a flat rate fee, but that's based on the job. But we never charge to meet with usually one child first, or a spouse, and then usually the whole family the second time, and kind of explain the process and the benefit.
Right.
There are so many benefits that people don't know about that really surprising. A spouse can keep a house up to $550,000 of value. They can keep a car. They can keep their entire IRA, 401k. That's a new rule.
You mean so if they're putting their spouse have to put their spouse in a retirement, so this other person can? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, we just had someone who called me and we had a talk, and they were like, well, I got to put my husband in nursing home. He's falling and he's got bad feet and different things. And she said, well, she said, I've got a $500,000 IRA from
Her employer?
Lilly where I worked. I
Okay.
have nothing else.
Mhm.
She goes, I'm going to have to cash that in. Well, if she cashes in, it's huge taxes.
Oh yeah.
And then she's got to spend down half. I said, no, Indiana just passed a rule a couple years ago that says I can take that completely off the table, and it's not a factor anymore. So she was incredibly relieved, because she's much younger and she's got many years to live.
Right.
So anyway, so those are the kind of things that we can do. And
Well, those are the kind of things that people don't know.
Yeah,
So-
you won't know unless you ask.
Exactly.
So.
As usual, there's always more information that we could talk about,
Yeah.
so we're going to have to save that for the next time that Wes comes to visit us here at Indy Boomer Magazine Show. Hey, don't forget to pick up a copy of Indy Boomer Magazine at any Kroger or Marsh store in Marion and the surrounding counties. Also, don't forget to watch us on Boomer TV on Sunday at 10:30 with Patty Spiller, and we've got a great new show coming up this weekend, so thank you, and we will see you all next time. Take care. Thanks, Wes.